Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well. So I guess it looks like we're doing afternoon readings instead of morning readings, but that's okay because you know the energies of the readings really are for whenever you see them. So it doesn't really matter when I'm doing them. It's more or less this is the message that you need to hear whenever you hear it. So I do put dates on the readings, really just for my own accountability, but you know, go back and watch, you know, look at the titles. Whatever jumps out at you might be what you need to hear at the time. So whether I do them in the morning or the afternoon, the evening, whatever, this day, that day, is less significant than the title itself. So pay attention to that. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. Maybe I'll stop putting dates on it. I don't know. Maybe I won't. I kind of like the organization of it, and I like the consistency of my dates and my titles and so forth. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. At any rate, we're going to get the energies for today. Energies for today. Energies, God's source, spirit, creator, universe. Please give us the energies, current energies as they stand right now. Wow, that flipped out. Ace of Pentacles. So this is brand new resources. I see this like walking through the door, right? Walking through, you've got a lily, you've got a rose. Maybe those names mean something to you, but walking through to the mountains, right? You're coming either from or to, but universe, source, God, creator is guiding you, and that is your resource. Opportunities, new opportunities that are coming through. We had the new moon solar eclipse last night, so new manifestations are coming through. Pay attention to those things, guys, because you've created the energy. You're sitting in the energy of new resources. So pay attention to new things that come in and walk through the doors that are open to you, right? There's these open doors. Don't worry about the mountains in the distance, right? You'll climb that later. Just walk through the door, one step at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. And since you did manifest new things in your life, and I say that because what else would you manifest, right? You don't want to manifest the same. We're always looking to grow and expand and evolve into our imperfect, perfect selves. And there's always work to be done, right? There's always something more that we want. Keep in mind too, though, that where you're at right now was something you wished for a while ago. So be careful with your wishes, with your manifestations, with your beliefs as they sit today, because they're going to create your tomorrows. Tell me about, okay, 10 of Pentacles. Look, you went from the Ace to the 10. When you realize that, when you accept these new beginnings, when you walk through the doors of opportunity, then you get an abundance of resources. This is like family generational wealth. I don't think this is about money. I think this is about learning skills, okay? Learning skills to evolve, learning about yourself, understanding yourself, and the resources that you started. You started with a single step, turns into the journey of 1,000 miles. And your children and your grandchildren and even your ancestors will all benefit from the work that you're doing right now. Working on yourself is resourceful, right? What resources are you using to evolve, right? Is it mindfulness? Is it Reiki? Is it sound healing? Is it therapy? Is it behavioral therapy? Is it dialectic therapy? Is it, I mean, there's a million ways to skin a cat, if you will. And it's funny I said cat because there's dogs here. But learning what works for you and standing in your truth, being completely authentic without apology, is going to be a model of behavior for your descendants and also for your ancestors. In doing so, you'll understand why they did what they did and how you benefited by that, even if it was something terrible. There's always a lesson, there's always a test, there's always some knowledge to be gained. And when you understand that at a core level and take that first step, almost overnight things change. So what can we expect in this energy? What can we expect in this energy today, tomorrow, next week, whatever? What can we expect in the energy? The Four of Swords in reverse. So coming out of isolation, right? This is sharing that knowledge, not being afraid to be your authentic self. You know, you may have spent time in isolation. You may have spent time researching just you, but now it's time to come out and it's time to interact with the rest of the world. And without apology, again, it's showing your heart. I mean, look, the swords look like they could be going into him this way, right? But they're not. It's an illusion. It's an illusion. And he's looking down. So he's in his higher crown chakra's energy this way. Looking down with his eyes closed, with his hands over his heart, butterfly hug. I learned that today in therapy. There's a thing called butterfly hug. And if you tap slowly each hand, it's a version of self EMDR. It's amazing. But anyway, I digress. He's got his armor on. So do protect yourself. You know, find the safe place to be authentic. You know, it might not always be safe to be authentic. Maybe you have to kind of hold back a little bit. And the Chariot in reverse. So be slow, hold back, right? Don't be so quick to show all your vulnerabilities. You know, make sure it's a safe place. Vet those people that you're going to be vulnerable with. Make sure they're on the up and up. You know, and do your shadow work. The Chariot to me is always shadow work, and it's also the card of Cancer. So there might be a Cancer in your life that is helping you learn these lessons, guys. When we have difficult people in our lives, there's always a lesson to be learned, if you will, right? And I just noticed yesterday our numbers were 10 and 4, and today we got 10 and 4. Interesting. But anyway, the Chariot. So slow things down. Make sure that you are in a safe place when you decide to be. Oh, that was my dogs, guys. I'm so sorry. When you decide to be authentic. And maybe you want to not necessarily lie. Sorry, that lighting just got weird. Not necessarily lie, but protect, I guess, is a, and I'm looking at the red jasper as I say that. The red jasper is a stone of protection. Protect yourself. You know, I wear these bracelets. The black is always the protection, right? So I'm protecting the world from receiving any of my negative, and I'm protecting myself from receiving any of the world's negative, right? And it's not that these things are gonna work by themselves. It's reminding me to protect myself from receiving others' negative, and it's reminding me not to give my negative to other people. That's why this black is on the inside, this black is on the outside. Just my little way of remembering to protect, remembering to make sure it's a safe place before I go on a big tangent about my vulnerabilities and my trauma, really, I guess, because that would be your vulnerabilities, right? The things that trigger you, those traumatic responses, those are your vulnerabilities. And you don't want to give those to just anybody, because they will always come back and use them against you. Well, bad people will. Let me put it that way. People, and I shouldn't even say bad, it's people who are not evolved, people who are not self-aware, people who do not think that they have ever done anything wrong. Those are the people that you want to kind of steer clear from giving your vulnerabilities away, because they will file it away and use it at a later time. And it is unnerving when that happens, especially when you feel like you've trusted someone, and then they come back and they use it against you later. Like, that's just not cool. It's really not cool. And make sure you're not doing that, guys. You know, I used to do that. I'm not even gonna lie. I used to do that. I was taught that. My parents did that to me. I did that to my kids. Did that to my ex-husband. Like, it's a thing, and it's a defense mechanism that we use. And it worked at the time to keep us safe, but it doesn't work anymore. Okay, it doesn't work anymore. We're adults. We can decide. We don't need to protect ourselves as children from those things. We've evolved. We've aged. We've grown up, right? So put on your big girl pants or big boy pants and stop doing it if you're doing it. And don't let other people do it to you. And I didn't notice that till I started healing certain traumas. And then people would try to use those traumas against me later. And when it didn't trigger me, that's when I realized what they were doing, because I was observing, right? There was no emotion tied to it anymore because I had healed that portion. You know, a good example was my I guess the card doesn't want to come out, so I'm just going to keep talking until it does. My dad, I had told him, oh, all right, well, we're not going to talk about my dad. We're going to talk about the Empress in reverse. This is the non-nurturing. This is codependence. This is being too vulnerable too quick. I just see codependence here when I look at this. She understands that she's being codependent, but she's kind of like turning a blind eye to it. You know, the heart is in the reverse there, so it's giving, you know, wearing your heart on your sleeve. I literally, like, that's the sleeve of the couch, and she's wearing her heart on her sleeve for others to see. Be mindful of that. Be careful with that, and don't give away too much information, right? Don't give away your passwords. That's what I was looking for. When we put all of this together, you get these new opportunities and things change really quickly, and you come out of isolation. Remember to slow down and not give away too much information, because it will create a codependency, okay? Be always aware of that codependency, always aware of slowing down and not moving too fast. As a recovering codependent, it is very easy for me to move very quickly into relationships and to become codependent on them. And like I told you guys yesterday, 4 years single, decided that, like, it just needed to happen. I'm very, very cautious, very careful, very aware of the information that I share with other people, because it can get used against you, and then you become codependent on those people, and their opinions become your opinions, and it's just a big clusterfuck, if you will. Sorry, I know I swear I haven't been swearing lately. Actually, I'm kind of proud of myself for that, but yeah, it becomes a big cluster, and then you can't decide what's your energy and what's not, right? Is their opinion yours, or is your opinion theirs, or how is that working when everything's the same? Be your authentic self. Be true to yourself. Go slowly, and be always aware of that codependent nature that can come about. When you're that codependent and you do finally have to leave the relationship, it can be excruciating, because you feel so empty and so lost and so not yourself that you don't even understand what parts of you are you and are not anymore. And it takes that isolation to understand. So always be aware of what's yours and what's theirs. Make sure you're not doing the codependent thing, okay? And our advice, so we got 2 cards of advice today. Pretty good, pretty good. Oh, awakening consciousness again. Oh, they're out. I guess 2 awakening consciousness. Guys, seriously, like, double duty there. You are not your thoughts. You are simply aware of your thoughts. Well, dang, we talked about that yesterday. Being the observer. Understanding that the thoughts that are in your head, sometimes they're somebody else's voice. They're not you. You just be aware of them. And then you think the solution to your inner problems is in the world outside. But nobody has ever truly become okay by changing things outside. There's always the next problem. Yeah, go within, guys. I mean, and you're coming out of that isolation period, but remember to stay mindful of being within yourself. You know, be aware of your thoughts, and know that they're thoughts, and your solution to those thoughts is not from the outside in, it's from the inside out. Okay, it really is. It's I love that we got 2 awakening consciousness. It's imperative in our evolution, in our growth, in our spirituality, whatever word you want to insert there, that we are always looking at ourselves. We create our own karma. We create our own circumstances. We create our own consequences with our choices. Make better choices. It's not the world outside that's going to change to make you change. You have to change from the inside, and then the outside reflects that. All right, I'm going to leave it there, and we will talk in a minute. Much love and light. Hey guys, how's it going? So, watch the video. It's kind of it was really good. There was a few kind of weird things that happened, which usually I talk about the words that I use as being weird, but there was actual tangible things that happened, so I kind of want to talk about that. The names we got were Lily and Rose, and the numbers were 10 and 4, just same as yesterday. So 10, of course, is the endings and beginnings. 10 reduces to 1, which would be a new beginning. So it's that kind of taking it too far, needing to start over, and 4, the stability, right? And Sadie, get down. Add Sadie to your names list. She's trying to climb on my nightstand as usual. Anyway, 4 is stability. So think of the 4 pillars, the 4 directions, the 4 agreements even. It's a stability. It's a solid foundation. So build that solid foundation. I hit my amethyst when I was talking about the day and the time and date of the readings being less significant. Time is an illusion. I know you guys have heard that, and it's like people kind of want to argue it, and it's hard to argue that time is an illusion. But if you think about it, a clock simply measures time. Time is only right now. That's it, right now. And there's a past and there's a future, but right now is the only actual time that we live in. We live in the now. We can live in the past and we can live in the future, and that doesn't usually work out well for us when we can stay present in the current time. Then the past and the future become insignificant, and it becomes an illusion that you are creating, reliving, reincarnating the past, or timeline jumping maybe would be a good way to talk about it. Like if you relive traumas from your past, then you've literally time traveled, right? There is a psychological phenomenon and a physiological phenomenon. If you think about like someone who has a phantom limb, when they have a limb amputated and they can still feel it, your neurotransmitters haven't caught up. There's a neuro something. I learned it in therapy today, and I don't remember the exact neuro thing, but it's neurological, has not caught up with the physical. You physically, consciously know that you've lost this limb, but from a neurological perspective, your inner body feelings have not caught up with that yet. So there's that. Then the card, the second card, the 10 of Pentacles, it like flipped out, and it jumped really. Actually, no, maybe it was the first card. Either way, I said the word flipped out, and when I was rewatching the video, I was thinking flipped out like if somebody flips out, right? Like they go off, like they just go completely. I don't have a good way to describe it other than flipping out. So make sure that if people are doing that or you're doing that, be aware of it, and yeah, just be aware of it. I mean, maybe somebody's going to flip out on you. You're going to want to flip out, something to do with flipping out. The camera moved, actually, and I didn't even realize it moved when I was talking about source is guiding you. Spirit, source, God, creator, universe, whatever words you want to use, it doesn't matter. But there is a guiding there. Okay, I'll give you a good example. This morning I woke up super late and thought, okay, well, I woke up at 8:48. No, 8:38, 8:41, basically 20 of 9. I'm supposed to be at therapy at 9 a.m. And I woke up and I was like, oh God, how am I going to do this, right? Well, hence the not done hair and the little bit of makeup that I have on. I threw on some clothes and ran out the door. Lights that I'm at that usually are red for a long time or green. I go to get on the highway and there's nobody on the highway. There was no like slowing down or speeding up to try to merge onto the highway. And even the light at the bottom of the exit ramp, that's usually takes forever, was green when I got there. And I turned right into the parking lot. I got there, it was like 9:10, I think, which I thought, damn, half an hour from in my bed to in the parking lot was pretty damn good. So I get to the second floor where my therapy is, and everybody's still in the lobby. They hadn't called us in yet. So even my instructor was running late. And so I missed none of my therapy. Source was guiding me. I made the right choice, and Source, God, Spirit, Creator lined it up for me to get there exactly at the time I needed to be there. So that was my really long way of saying that. The other thing I said was, when I was talking about the one step at a time, the journey of 1,000 miles, I said cats and dogs. It's more than one way to skin a cat. And then I pointed out the dogs in the tarot card. And then I said, you need to vet people. And then I was watching it again, and I thought veterinarian. Cats, dogs, veterinarian. Check your pets. Make sure they're good. Make sure they're not sick. Be aware. be aware of that. Yeah, I don't know. And the other thing with cats and dogs, like, everybody thinks cats and dogs don't get along, right? But some do. I know some that do. And it doesn't have to be traditional cats and dog, fighting like cats and dogs. Have you heard that saying? It doesn't have to be that way. You can be different and in harmony at the same time. It's okay. That's a dialectic, by the way. Okay. In a safe place, when I was talking about your safe place, the dogs really hit the camera and it moved really bad. And I said, I was talking again about my dogs. I said the dogs moved the camera. Think about what a dog means. I mean, maybe we'll look it up in the book here in a minute, but I feel like dogs were kind of prevalent today. Then when I was talking about make sure you're not lying, when I was talking about being authentic, I said don't lie, and the lighting got really weird. Like it just moved. It got like almost a wave in it. Yeah, you don't want to lie when you protect yourself. Maybe you don't share, like there's an omission, and some people would say, a lie by omission is still a lie. But protecting yourself is just not giving away those passwords. That's not a lie. That's not being your true self. It is ensuring that you're in a safe place to be your true self. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. Stella, you need to look at the scratches. Seriously, this dog. I don't know what her deal is. Okay, then we talked about the inside and outside of my bracelets. Okay, so the right side is my action side. That's what I give away. The left side is what I receive. Stella, stop it. Seriously, that hurts. Left side is receiving side, so I block from receiving and then I block from giving on my action side. And at the end, the cards that we got about evolution were, working from the inside out, and that reflects. The outside will reflect what the inside is. Just is. So be aware of that. Work from the inside out. Don't work from the outside in. It's not going to work that way. The pace of my talking got really, so I was talking really fast up until the Chariot. When the Empress came out in reverse, the pace of my talking got really slow, very, very slow, and which was probably a result of the Chariot telling us to slow down. And but notice when you're talking too fast, when you're moving too fast, when things are moving too fast, and slow them down. It's huge today, and that was the first major arcana we got. So it literally is. This is a huge lesson, and you don't want to repeat it. So just learn it this time. And then when I was talking about be always aware of what you're sharing, I picked up the cards and I put the protection stone on it, and it literally was the protection stone. So keep that in mind. Be always aware of protecting yourself. Make sure that you're in a safe place when you start sharing things, because there's going to be people that just aren't on the up and up, and they will, use things against you later, and it's not cool. If somebody does that, that's probably your first clue that they're not truly self-aware. If they were, then they would be trying very hard to look at themselves and what they did to create the situation that's happening, and not trying to find past reasons why it's your fault. As you become more aware of yourself, you will become a magnet for these people. Because if you're blaming yourself, then it's easy for others to blame you. So be careful you're not blaming yourself in an unhealthy way, right? Take your accountability, take your responsibility, but give them theirs too, okay? And know that if they're always using things against you from your past, that's like your first clue. Maybe not the best place for you to be your safe, true, authentic self. I'm not saying to end those kind of relationships. I personally have decided to do that in my life, but that's just me. It left me with very few friends and very few family members that I can trust. But I just keep certain family members, keep them at arm's length. They're never going to have that information to use against me again. And again, I'm not saying that it's they're doing it maliciously or sinister. It's a defense mechanism. It just is. It's not good. It's not bad. It just is. And just be aware of it. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. So you guys have a great rest of your day or night or whenever you're watching this, because it doesn't matter. And we'll talk soon. Much love and light.